1 second, Akim. I gotta check the sound. Got a call. That mug don't go through the first time. Don't call. Trying to see. Let's see. All right, we good. All right, hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we get started, giving all praise and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Sakadash. Double honors once again, as always, to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us his truth. Peace, much love, and salutation as always to those for elect. All right, and just a quick impromptu, man, all through the spirit of power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Mashai. Lord willing, all right, it'd be edifying to the elect. All right, and like I said, really just opening up. We'll start at Joel. Let me see. Joel 3. Joel 3. I'll start at verse 6. Yeah, Joel 3 and 6. And the header says the nations will be judged. So it says the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. And that's pursuant to, I'll get this real quick. All right, Revelation 13 and 10 or 9. Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, so who has led the so-called blacks and the American Latinos into captivity? Well, the answer is the so-called white man, Esau Edom. All right, the biblical Edomites. All right, which it doesn't take rocket science to figure that out or to answer that question. All right, because of the atrocities that you've committed, and not just them. Okay, you go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter. All right, and it lists off the nations that had a part, to do with our downfall. All right, so all these nations, but predominantly the Edomites. All right, they are going to have to ultimately pay for what they've done to the Israelites, man. And it's all according to biblical prophecy. Real quick, Psalms 83 and 1. O power, or Salakia, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Right, so they all came to an agreement, okay, to do what? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So that was that tumult, that was that agreement, okay, that these nations that they're about to list, all right, came up with. Let's make sure that the Israelites go to the bottom of the barrel, okay. Let's put them at the complete bottom of the earth. Let's make them lesser than dirt, okay, because we pretty much commodity. It speaks about I think that's in Joel too. Um, yeah, the third verse when it speaks about giving a boy for a harlot, sold a girl for wine. Okay, we were pretty much commodities. Like you go to the store and you get a pack of eggs or some shit. Well, you could go to the auction block and buy a couple niggas, and make them work. Okay, that's what happened. So verse 6, Psalms 83 and 6 or 5, Salakia. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So they agree. It says the tabernacles of Edom, all right, starts with Edomites, and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. All right, so all these nations took part in ultimate in our downfall, man. Okay, that's why all the nations are going to be judged. You know, and slavery is biblical. All right, and it will come back into true fashion when the kingdom of heaven is established here on earth. Now, you know, when people hear slavery, they automatically revert back to you know, what the so-called white man did to us. Well, we're not going to be doing when there's going to be hardcore bondage for them 1,000 years. Don't get it twisted. All right, you will be getting judged on a very high scale. It will be torture. All right, but it's still going to be righteous. We're not going to be buck breaking. Okay, we're not doing any of that freaky shit. You know, but you will suffer just as what you call it, just as we had to suffer, man. In Revelation, the book of Revelation says, render to her double. All right, you got to get double of the shot. Okay, a double shot of Everclear. No chaser, no nothing. You just got to sit there, drink the cup with a straight damn face. All right, and again, this is according to the Bible, man. The same Bible that you Christians claim that you know you have this profound love for so much. Well, how about you open the book, you know, instead of just using it for a coaster or something, letting it collect dust. But you have to have the spirit of the Lord on you to, you know, for one, even be inclined to want to do that, and then two, to understand it. All right, the Lord has to be dealing with you. So back here in Joel 3 and 7, or no, 8, it says, oh, 2, real quick, because that last one said, return your recompense. All right. No, it's 1 and 6. 1 and 6. Well, that's not right. You're supposed to let bygones be bygones. Turn the other cheek. And weak ass Jake, you know, that's the topic now. Jake trying to save the fucking Edomites. Niggas talking about that don't make us any better than them. Bullshit. That bullshit. No, you put my ass in captivity. You goddamn right. Your ass is gonna be when we get that power. Your ass going into captivity. We can't do it now. We can't take matters into our own hands now because that's not how we're not gonna win that way. We've tried that, been there, done that with all these movements that Jake's been a part of, you know, throughout the ages and revolts and so on and so forth. It always comes to an end. You know, they might win a couple battles, but it always comes to an end because that's not how the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shai has things set up, man. He has things set up to where we have to depend on the spirit, okay, in order to win wars, to win battles. All right, you're gonna constantly lose when you apply the flesh. That's why Esau is losing. That's why his kingdom is falling, as well as his previous one, because he's not a spiritual man. You know, he can't be a spiritual man. Fucking bugs. So this is 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6. It says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. All right, so, and let's see what it says in the NLT. The NLT says, in his justice, in the Most High's justice, he will pay back those who persecute you. And who's persecuting us? The Edomites. So again, this is a righteous thing that we're speaking about. This isn't hate speech. All right, and we're not going off and we're not wicked for wanting to judge our enemies. In the book of Psalms, it says, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies. Okay? And if you're not down with the program, hey, then we ain't down with you, man. If you're not down with the Heavenly Father and His Son, we don't want anything to do with you. Men, women, children, don't fucking matter. Old, young, all right? Because we're not a respecter of persons, man. You're not supposed to be. It don't matter who the hell it is. If your parents, you know, scoff at you about the truth, hey, fuck them. You know, now still honor them, reverence them as your father and your mother, all right? Show the respect, but when it comes to the ministry, man, hell no. They gonna be, you know, like when you first come in, oh, you ain't coming to church no more, because I ain't doing that shit no more, man. They might look at you a certain way. Hey, man, it is what it is, okay? We ain't got time to be pleasing people. You can't please people any goddamn way. All right, you do one thing for somebody, then they want something else. It's a constant cycle. But we can please Yahweh Shem Shai, okay, by serving him, keeping the commandments to the best of our ability. And ultimately, that's who's going to deliver us out of here. It ain't going to be your parents, your siblings, your woman. Damn shame she's going to be your woman. And you can't, y'all brothers already know, man, you can't even please, you damn sure can't please no woman. All right, she's always going to want something extra. You get that bitch the world, and now she wants Jupiter too. So, hey, it is what it is. But anyways, this is Joel 3, relighting the sage. Joel 3 and 8, it says, and I will sell your sons. I read this. I read it again. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. Right, Deuteronomy 30 and 7 speaks about the curses getting lifted up off of us and on putting on the heathen. They're going to be put on the heathen. So their families, they're going to be getting separated. They're going to be getting sold off, auction blocks and things of that nature. They're going to be currency, not currency, commodities. You go to a brother crib, he got a nice, good section of some strong working Hamites. Okay, he might have a little little other section. See, some concubine. Hey, brother, after this last couple of y'all, take you a concubine with you, on the house. we go be selling these niggas off, man. And again, it's going to be righteous. All right, now after the 1,000 years, because it's 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, and after that, all right, the Edomites are going to be destroyed. They're going to be wiped out pursuant to the book of Obadiah. Okay, but after that, the heathens, okay, the other nations, the other 16, all right, because one of them will be cleaned out, wreck shop, but the other 16 nations, they're going to be sent to their lands as tributaries, okay, and they're still going to follow the law, all right, because you ain't going to go back and go back to voodoo. That's dead. It's over. Kiss that nigga goodbye. When the Lord returns, it's going to be Yahweh Shem Shai, and that's going to be the only power that every living soul on the earth is going to be worshiping, man. All right. But yeah, they're going to be sent to the lands, try their best to keep the laws there. And if they, the scriptures speak about any nation that blesses you will be blessed or something like that, around the lines of that. So if they do good, hey, you know what? I'm going to double your crops this year. You did a good job. All right. But if, they step out of line, and we're going to jack their ass up too. But it's going to be not as, hardcore as that first 1,000 years. Like I said, unless they get the bugging out. Because they still going to be in the flesh. So Satan's still going to have, power over them, But, so this is Joel 3 and 9. It says, proclaim, making sure my son's still living. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Okay? So this is what's getting ready to happen, man. We're seeing, as they call third world countries, now they possess what? Nuclear power. Now they got nukes now, man. Or they're backed by, a top country. Oh, my goodness. I did not mean to do that. That's nasty. Lucky. Hold on, let me take a drink of water. Shit. But yeah, what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, they're one of the superpowers, that possess nuclear weapons. They're joining sides with them, like the BRICS. A lot of people are starting to, stem towards joining them. Some are even leaving NATO, which ultimately that's all NATO and the EU, which ultimately that's all going to crumble, man. in this biblical prophecy. So this is Jeremiah 50:13. It says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Because, yeah, this place is going to be through. This is how. Verse 14, it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. So because of the unrighteousness that Babylon has committed, okay, over the years, Babylon the Great, which is America, okay, the Roman Empire revived, Rome 2.0, because all of this shit that they've been doing, well, now the Lord is going to take all the nations, he's going to make all the nations turn against her and bomb this motherfucker, okay? And that's pursuant to Revelation, I think the 9th chapter. It speaks about 200,000. All right, that's that 200 million nuclear warheads. There's also another one too. Let me see. Man, come on. I think it's Joel, the 2nd chapter. Yep, Joel 2 and 4. It says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Speaking about the missiles, it says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run, like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Okay, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Right. So none of them is going to break their ranks. You ain't gonna have missiles bumping into each other, blowing up and shit in the sky. And then it's then with all that, it was only 100 million missiles. No, it's gonna be all 200 million nuclear warheads, man. Completely obliterating this place. Not to mention with the laser beams from the chariots. Okay, so this is going to be a very, very strong judgment that the Most High is getting ready to put on Babylon. Okay, and shit, it's your fault, nigga. Jeremiah 51:7 says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Right, because it speaks about the nations were mad, because Babylon's making them drunk off their wine, and the nations were angry. Somewhere around the lines of that. All right, so the Most High has used Babylon for its purpose. This is all prophecy, but now, hey, it's a wrap. He doesn't need this shit no more. Okay, the nations have drunk enough for wine. Oh, damn, it was the next part of this. Now, but there's another one in Revelation, I think. Let me think. I don't know. I think it's in Revelation. I have to look it up. But anyway, it says the nations have drunk enough for wine, therefore the nations are mad. Right, so they're pissed. And America's breaking deals and switching shit up. Indian giving pretty much. All right. So they're getting pissed off. That's why they're gonna, join up with the BRICS and shit like that to get, man, we got to get rid of this bitch. It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Right, so the judgment of Babylon is already set in stone, man. It's already set in stone. It's going to happen. There's no boomerang effect, that the Most High has. It says his word does not return unto him void. Okay, so once the Most High, once it's written, once it's spoken, all right, that's it. That's what the move is. And we have to understand this is ordained from the beginning. This is a very intricate, detailed, movie that the Most High has created from the beginning. I'm gonna create. Boom. I'm gonna create people. I'm gonna have the sons of God, which ultimately were the Israelites. But you know, you had the Alahayim when it speaks about, you know, that's the 144,000. You know, with Yahweh Shai. That's why we take, you know, that's why we look at the earth now in the state it is in, and we get pissed, man. Because shit, if Lord willing, we're part of that number. We helped make this, and now look at it. It's just it's shit. You know, there's nothing good about it. So, but yeah, he made that, made the sons of God, what the hell? The sons of God fall away, okay? Made them go through, oh, flooded the earth, started again, made them go through captivity. Well, boom, we're at the end. It's the final captivity. We're about to reign under Yahweh Shai, and the heathens are going to be in subject to us, man. That's the movie. All right. Obviously, there's more to it, but just to, you know, sum it up, that's the movie. So there's no changing that, man. And you Israelites should actually be excited that you're getting ready to be on top. But you know, that coon spirit that Jake has, you know, and they're so indoctrinated. What's that word? Damn, there's a word for it. Something to do with Christianity. I can't remember. But yeah, they're so indoctrinated and so hung up under the devil, you know, that they don't see anything past this. They don't see anything past paying rent until you're 78. If you even get that fucking far, because you might get in a wreck, your lungs might go bad, you know, and all the shit that he does, it introduces death, man. Liquor stores on every corner, cigarettes, all right, meth. Kentucky is the highest state for import of meth, which is crazy. But you know, there's multiple reasons. We could go on all day, but there's multiple reasons why this man just has to be taken out of the earth, man. So I just wanted to put that up. Like I said, just flowing through the spirit for real. And Lord willing, it was edifying to the elect. Before we close, once again, giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Chakodash. And double honors once again, as always, to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who well and taught us this truth. Peace, much love, and salutations as always to the elect. To the next lesson, Shalom.